stopped to consider how magic words can be? If we weren't used to language, if we didn't take it for granted, we might be stunned how seemingly magical it is that we can make a sound in our throat, that it goes into the air, it goes into somebody else's ear and into their brain, and they can understand thoughts in their brain that were in our brain and were invisible to them except for these audible words. There's a kind of magic to words, which relates to our life in the local church. This is a big aspect of what God is doing in our lives and through our lives is this magic of words. So let me give you two texts that relate to why the local church, why covenant community is so important in our Christian life, and why it may be worth making a resolution about your involvement in your local church. The first text is Hebrews 10, verses 24 and 25, where he says, "Let us consider how to stir one another up to love and good deeds, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some," but here it is, encouraging one another. That's the words, encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. So these words of encouragement come from one heart, through one mouth, through the air, to another's ear, and down into the heart. These are encouraging words that are a means or avenue of God's grace for sustaining, upholding, filling, and strengthening faith. The other text is Hebrews chapter 3, verses 12 to 13. "Take care, brothers, lest there be among any of you an evil, unbelieving heart, leading you to fall away from the living God. But," here it is, "exhort one another, encourage one another," same language, "every day as long as it is still called today, that none may be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin." So Hebrews 10 is a little more positive. Encourage each other proactively, continue to meet together. Hebrews chapter 3 is more protective, that you would speak words that would help someone's heart not become hardened, not fall away, but be strengthened, be helped, be encouraged. And the common link there is that language of encouraging one another, exhorting one another, helping each other with the magic of words. And for Christians, this comes to play most importantly and significantly in the context of covenant community. It's one thing to float in and out and have people who are Christian friends, but may not be there for you in a difficult time. It's another thing to make covenant commitments to each other, to say, I'm pledging, I will be the church to you, not just in easy times. I will be the church to you in hard times. And you be the church to me in hard times. And so Christians the world over for 2,000 years have made covenant commitments to each other in local churches to be the church for each other. And so one thing that means is that we show up. We're there for each other. But it means more than just that. It means that we engage in this magic of words, that we have our own faith strengthened, and that we be God's channel to strengthen the faith of brothers and sisters through the magic of words that would point them to Jesus. So what kind of resolutions might you make related to the church? And maybe you've never made a resolution related to the church, and perhaps in our day, it would be more important than ever for you to make resolutions related to the church. The first one might be to join. Maybe you're at a church where membership is an option, and you haven't yet joined the membership. You haven't made that covenant commitment, and sometimes there's a process involved. It may take some weeks or some months, and you could resolve and ask for God's help to walk that process, to make that covenant commitment, to be the church, and to have those brothers and sisters be the church to you. So joining might be one. Another would be, are you active in the church that you're a member of? Local churches are very different all over the world in different contexts, different ages, different seasons. They have different commitments that are implied or expected. So look at your church on its own terms. What is the church asking of you? What does the church want of its membership? And how might you consider adjusting your life to live up to what your church is asking of you? How could you be a more active and engaged member? To be there and not flake so quickly on commitments. We live in a world where showing up is becoming less and less expected, and where making that commitment and actually showing up matters more than perhaps it ever has. And you may also resolve not to flake, on church activities. This is so endemic in modern life, where we come to the last minute, something small comes up, we give ourselves a pass, we don't carry through with commitments, and maybe you would resolve, with church, I'm not going to do that. Sunday mornings, small group, Bible study, whatever it would be, if I'm committed to something and something small comes up as a little excuse last minute, I'm not going to give in to the small excuse. I'm going to carry through with the larger commitment and not flake on my local church. Shared joy is doubled joy. And in a world that's non-committal and on again, off again in its commitments, Christians in particular have the chance to give their word and keep their word and share their word and hear strengthening words from others and experience the rare joy of covenant life in community in your local church.